Okay, news from Mobile Gamer Biz from our friend Mr. Neil Long about some money that Hasbro is earning from Monopoly Go, which is interesting in and of itself. They expect to earn Hasbro 14 million a month from the game through the end of fiscal year 2025, which I think gives you a nice sense of what life is like as a licensor sitting back earning the royalty fees, which is great for Hasbro. But this is also a chance for us to like just check back in on the Scopely portfolio. And due to my new Sensor Tower R package, which I didn't get to show last week, check it out on GitHub, which I put together. I was able to pull all of Scopely's games, and we can kind of look at them year to date from 2023, 2024, and 2025. And this graph, when you look at their portfolio across their key titles, I think has a number of interesting stories about where Scopely has been. The first one that really jumps out at you is that they are down in nearly every single game and every single KPI. So top line revenue year to date from 2024 to 2025 is down 28%. Average MAU is down 24%, and downloads are down 34%. So even when we think about like ads and web shops, some of those usual arguments we hear, and those are nice, like those are nice margins to take, but that should be reflected in downloads and average MAU if it was compensating for that, because you would be bidding on UA at a consistent level, and we don't see that be the case here. LTVs would be higher. So the fact that we don't see that is troubling. The only franchise that has had any like meager amount of growth at scale is Pokemon Go at 2%, but Monopoly Go is down 36% year to date, year over year. So in 2024 they had made 1.1 billion by now, and in 2025 they've only made 700 million by now. It is also around 60 to 65% of the portfolio revenue. So like when this thing sneezes, Scopely's going to catch a cold. It's just the reality here. Pokemon Go is now suddenly the number 2 title in their portfolio at $250 million. I mean, that is basically their portfolio now. 92% of their revenue is Monopoly Go and Pokemon Go. Like everything else just became irrelevant. And so when you go through the portfolio, you look at like all these sore spots, these bets that you thought were going to pay out. Like Stumble Guys, remember they bought that from that small Finnish team? It's just declined. It's declined across every single KPI.
It's a big ad game.
It's a downward pointing arrow. Star Trek Fleet Command has really collapsed. That was really tough to watch here. It's only made $22 million up until now in 2025. In 2024, it had done $28 million. And a year before that, it was at $43 million. So it's not looking like it's in a great place. And again, I understand web shops, people on the PC SKU, but it's still, I'd expect to see more changes in MAU and downloads that'd be more consistent with that. You look at Garden Joy, you remember that? That was one of their acquisitions. I think it was Burlington Games. They gave them money that hasn't really turned into anything. Scrabble Go, it felt like that was a layup, right? We're going after the Zynga property, right? Like we're going to go after that with the Scrabble franchise. I mean, that sounds like a layup that didn't end up turning into anything.
Yeah, don't get me started.
Right?
Scrabble has never been able to beat Words with Friends, sadly, as somebody who made the original OG Scrabble game. Yeah, Scrabble's a tough one.
And from what I understand, like they tried to scale Strike Force and it really didn't play the way they expected it to. And it's really hit all-time lows. The franchise is really struggling right now. It's still their number 3 game, surprisingly. And just one last shout out to Yahtzee with Buddies, Walter, the CEO's favorite game of all time, which continues to deliver like steady revenue, like 24 million. Like what is it going to do? Maybe 50 million on IAP this year? You add in ad revenue. That's wow.
Those 60-year-old women in Iowa playing these casual games there's always more of them. Yeah.
And it's the best argument for pay to win that's ever been made is in Yahtzee with Buddies, a formula that goes like under examined. You literally just buy bonus rolls. You're literally buying win percentage.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing for match 3 games.
But this is also PvP. You be playing against other people.
Technically you are as well in match 3 games.
Nope. It's a PvE environment. Nope. Sorry, Jen.
I mean, I do. I'm in all kinds of clan team battles.
Sure, there's lava quests, there's meta layers. I mean, sure, but all that's usually bots too at this point.
No, I got it.
Okay, I have a few comments. One, the only adjustment I would make to this is like likely they're thinking of it, Pokemon Go is incremental revenue for this year because it's inorganic growth, right? Because it's an acquisition. So in that way, they can say to their Saudi overlords that the business isn't as bad as you're suggesting, right? Does that make sense, Phil?
Yeah, you can just say, look we bought a revenue stream and then we add it to the money and we make more money. See? Happy.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
That's not a very compelling argument.
I know, but that's what inorganic growth means, really, right?
Yep.
So the other part of this is that people are kind of blowing this thing up, is that Hasbro suggested that they're making basically equal royalties for this year, 14 million a month, right, for the rest of the year, suggesting that they're kind of like stable revenue on Monopoly Go. That is not the case, right? Monopoly Go is down significantly despite the success on the stores outside of the app stores, but they are likely more profitable because they're spending far less money on UA, and that's why the royalty for Hasbro can be at the same range for the rest of the year. I just want to be clear on this point. And despite all that money they're blowing on TV ads for no fucking reason, they're still more profitable because the UA spend was so insane for this game, like 500 billion. Like, I don't know. I wonder what the number is for the full year of launch. I mean, it must have been insane. I think it was 500 for the first year and probably more than 500 for the next. I don't know. Yeah. Once that UA spend became unprofitable, they spent less, right? And so I likely that Hasbro is making money on the margin, not necessarily on the revenue per se. So there we go. But overall, I think they need to buy more product or make more product, one of the two, right? Like keep the growth going, the story going. I mean, Monopoly Go is so huge that like it is really, really hard to grow from that level, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, we are seeing just a change in tactics based off of the life cycle. It kind of goes back to the beginning of our chat when I was talking about Farmville. When you're on a game that's been out for multiple years, you start to have to change your tactics. And so what they're doing is, trying to maintain their existing players, trying to launch new features and events to keep everyone inside the game so they don't have to keep acquiring new people. And they're trying to move their spenders to the Tycoon Club web shop, which, I don't know if you've done it, is a very seamless experience inside of the app where you get loyalty reward points for spending through that version of the web shop and not the main one. And I think, we all know that we've heard between 20 and 50% of purchases have been moving to web shops, depending on the game. We don't know what it is on Monopoly Go. It does seem like it's starting to edge up to be kind of a higher percentage of that. I think a lot of it, Crest, to your point, is that they used to have to do marketing deductions depending on UA spend, right? And so to your point, if UA spend is coming down, they are spending on TV and other places that's not going to be to the same amount, then those deductions go down, which could also mean more margin for Hasbro. So I agree with you. Likely that is starting to be the case, that you're getting more margin on the web shops. There's less UA to take a deduction on. And, so that I think that's part of the answer.
Their effective rate's going up. Their
Correct.
effective royalty rate is going up.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you on that point. And then for the next thing for you to shit on, they've started their next kind of TV. And by the way, when their TV campaigns aren't necessarily TV campaigns, they're 360 marketing campaigns that happen to have a TV spot. But a majority of this is building new UA creative that goes out on traditional UA channels. As a reminder, what they've told me, what Ben said, is that for the last campaign, 9 of the 10 top creatives 6 months later were from these type of experiences. And so it's a way to get brand new refresh creative to try to get a new audience. They're doing a 90s sitcom theme, which it tells you who the consumer is. It's people who have nostalgia for 90s. So anyway, that's my wrap up on Monopoly.